You guys have been watching us for about a year now, and Meg and I realized that we haven't shown you inside our camper. So let's get a fire going first and we'll take you inside. Okay, our camper is a Wildwood. Forest River makes Wildwoods. This is a 2012. Here's the model number, 31 QBTS. I know it's a 31 QBTS, but I think it's a 32-foot RV. It has 2 slide outs in the back, and it has 1 in the living area. What else does it have? Has this sunshade thing, which is good for weekend camping. We don't usually even have it up,
because it usually gets windy in the middle of the night and needs to be closed. So we just keep it closed.
It's been good. The camper has been very good to us. So I'm gonna take the camera and have Meg tour us around. Yep.
You wanna, here, we'll show how we prop the door. We have a bungee cord because our little hook thing broke.
Yeah. All right, that's our steps.
Come on in.
Come on in.
This is our home.
This is it. It's always this clean.
That's a lie.
All right, Meg, show us what's what. I mean, people can see, but
yeah.
Tell us what's what here.
This is where we eat. This dinette, when we got this camper, it was already partially renovated, but it was in a beach theme. So we kind of redid that, and it had a couch and a separate table. We took those out and we installed and made this dinette set so we could have more storage. Underneath each bench is all storage. We do dog food here. This has the printer, trash bags, those kinds of things. And this table's it's worked out great for us. This top is
one of those like pre-assembled wood
yeah.
Things from Lowe's. It's
it's
pine, and we just stained it. And here, I'll get you a close-up of the benches. Here's one of our benches. It's just, we use that shiplap stuff you get at Lowe's or Home Depot. And yeah, we framed it out with 2x3s. And it just matches up. And for us, it's me and Meg and the 2 little ones. One adult is on each side. I sit there, Meg sits there, and Autumn and Claire sit on the inside. Because there is a bump out here. See the, Meg, I've hit my head. So if you're gonna get an RV and you're tall, like 6 feet, like me, you're gonna hit your head a few times. And then you just get used to it. I haven't hit my head in like a year.
So if you were to travel with this RV, which we've only done 4 times, this would come all the way to here.
Yeah.
And it gets very, very tight in here.
Yep.
The couch slash bed here is a twin size memory foam mattress that we built a platform for, which also has storage underneath. We store mop, broom, nail polish, and we have a whole container of medicines under there. Our whole pharmacy is under there.
Nail polish?
Yeah, the nail polish is under there.
What, the girls' stuff?
Yeah.
It's just for fun. So let me say something. So the bottom there, that is just open because we learned our lesson. We had a cover that matched this stuff over there, and we learned that in the winter with condensation on these windows, the moisture would go down the wall there, and we had a little problem with some mold forming. So we eliminated that piece, that way air can get up underneath the mattress. So we're still kind of thinking of a way to cover up that with some screening or something like that, make it look a little nicer. But we took the cover off.
This couch has worked out great because all 4 of us can fit on it to watch a movie or something. And the dogs sleep here. They love it.
Yeah. The dogs, they love the bed. We don't have them come into our bed. They're outside dogs most of the time. Like, they're out there, I don't know where, but they just run freely. And they will bring in chiggers and mites. You just don't want that stuff in your bed.
And this is our island. We also made this. And this, if you want to get a shot of the other side, John.
Here, scoot the trash can out of the way. That way we could just see. There you go. The same shiplap stuff, but that's just the wrap. So this is those cubicle things that you could buy from Target and places like that. Those quick assemble little cube units. This is a 2x3 unit. It stands vertically, and it's hard to get a shot.
And
here we go.
We built these side pieces on it to fit cutting boards, baking sheets, cupcake.
Yep.
Sheet, I guess you call it. And this has worked out great. This provides the storage for all of our dishes.
Yeah, our dishes, our mugs, Tupperware down there, coffee, tea, and so anyway, that's great because it's out of sight. It's around the corner here. You don't look at it from, you know, if you're sitting on the couch. We finished it with the same stain and the little wood top to match the dinette.
This is our kitchen, and I don't think we would be able to function in this kitchen without this island that we made, because the amount of counter space that this RV comes with is this.
Yeah.
That's it, and over here. But it lets you have a cutting board type thing for the top of the stove, but there's really no counter space.
Yeah, our preference, our big house that we sold had an induction cooktop that we installed, and we loved it. We loved the way it cooked. And we bought this, so we're not using the propane burners. It's very safe. It's just, it runs on electricity, and it's just easier to use for quick little you know, click of a button, and it heats up a tea kettle rather quickly.
Yeah, we really prefer the induction cooktop. I would say one of the biggest challenges of living in an RV full time is the size of the fridge. And that's why a lot of RV renovations, they put in a full-size fridge. We don't have that. We have a second fridge out in the shed now, but we functioned with this one for a year without that. And I've learned some really tricky ways of fitting things into this fridge. For example, we drink a lot of milk, and I would get a new gallon of milk at the store, but we still have some of our old gallon of milk. So, pro tip, Meg's pro tip, squish the old gallon of milk and still have the milk in it, and you can fit it in the door.
When I see that, I just get a chuckle.
Hey, it works.
So let me just run you through here. We got the microwave up top. Below the microwave, there is a fan for exhaust. There's supposed to be a light under there too that we don't really use. That's the stovetop, what you see there, that chestnut color wood. Below that, Meg, open the oven. I'm gonna say something. Most RV ovens have this thing, this oven. Pull out those cookie sheets, Meg. Those stay there all the time because there's one burner under there and there's one rack. And you could cook a nice meal in there, but it will cook the center, it'll just burn it. So I put those 2 cookie sheets in there, and it radiates the heat a lot better in there. And since then, our cooking has gotten a lot better. So if you complain about the burning oven, like everybody else, that's what we came up with, and it works like a charm. Yeah,
it works great. It distributes the heat much more evenly, that it hits those cookie sheets and kind of goes around them to make it work much better. We keep our silverware and utensils here, cleaning products and pots and pan lids there, and then we keep our pots and pans up here.
That's it, guys. 3 drawers and 1 cabinet right there, and then up here is just our hanging cabinet, I guess you could call it. There's our refrigerator, freezer on top, fridge on the bottom, and it's got a mode here. If you look, you can turn it from...
That's another thing the propane can run on.
Yeah, the propane, you can switch it to gas if you want to, or it'll if it runs out of electricity, if the power goes out, it'll just switch the gas automatically.
Yeah, what's great about RVs, I don't know if it's all RVs, but this one is designed to be off-grid for a short amount of time. You could probably get away with like 2 or 3 days at the max, but everything can run on the propane, including the fridge. So, and there's also a water tank. So if you didn't have water, you can do that and the pump will run off of the battery. So when we lose power, it's funny because all the lights in the ceiling will stay on because they can run on the battery. Sometimes when the power goes out, it's hard for us to tell whether or not the power went out, or if we just tripped a breaker, which is another thing to think about when you are running things in an RV. You have to learn what things you can run at the same time, because our coffee maker and the induction stovetop, sometimes you can't run those at the same time because it'll trip the breaker. The things that you have to just
That's why I said you might want to consider, if you use a lot of electricity all at once, you might want to consider a 50 amp versus a 30 amp RV. So as far as the kitchen, Meg, you're in the way.
Sorry.
There's our backsplash that we did. It's just little stick-on tiles. And then Meg added some thumbtacks, which kind of looks like it's a design element.
Yeah, the thumbtacks were added because it does not stick to that wall. Something to keep in mind, if you want to renovate an RV and you want to use stick-on wallpaper or tiles or something like that on the walls, either you need a really, really heavy-duty glue, or you need to tack it on somehow, because the outside walls just get too hot and they'll fall off.
Yeah, temperature change, it just, it does a toll on the adhesive, but we adapted. That's what we did. We also, Meg, turn on the fireplace.
Sure.
We installed this last fall and we used this last winter. That's our fireplace. And it's just an electric fireplace which takes the chill out, and it's kind of great. It's not really giving it justice on this this video, but
the girls love that they can
oh yeah, they could change it to it's flickering.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
It's going nuts. Yeah, hold on, let me change the exposure.
I never know what the buttons do.
Nope, that's made it worse.
The blue, green. Girls love changing the colors.
Yeah, it's flickering, but it doesn't flicker like that. That's just the video. Okay.
All right, let's switch. You can give the tour of the rest of the rooms.
Okay. This fireplace definitely does the trick. Takes the chill out, and it's great. You don't have to run the propane if it's like you just want it warmed up a little bit, but it's not going to be 20-degree weather sufficient heat. So our RV has this little swingaroony, we'll call it. We stopped it from swinging. We don't like that because I just think it's ridiculous. This is designed to, you can unlatch it and spin the thing around so that you could have the TV in the bedroom here if you want to watch it. There's not pocket doors, just sliding doors. So we use these to kick out the puppies or stop them from coming in at night, and just, I guess, your privacy. So there's a door on each side here. And then, Meg, why don't you come on this side? Probably better light. I'll go over here.
All right.
Here's our bed. This is our bedroom. This is the master. What is this? A queen size bed. We did this little wallpaper back here. Meg's storage of clothes. My storage is symmetrical, so we each have clothes storage on these sides. And if you want to come around, Meg, here's our TV setup over here. Come on in. All right, we close the doors, and that's what we do at nighttime. We just watch a little bit of TV and then we go to sleep. So we have a TV on this side, TV on the other side.
And we installed that DVD player.
Yeah.
There.
Okay, so that is that.
So originally there was one TV, and you could switch it to either room, but we put a TV on both sides.
Yeah, it was just silly. You had to close the doors, spin it around. It was just silly. So this whole bed also lifts up, and there's storage all up underneath here that you could access from the outside of the RV too. I'm quite comfortable in here. This is our little nook, and we had a king-size bed and like a huge bedroom in our old house, and it's just surprisingly comfortable. I am just bundled up like a little squirrel with Meg.
We call it our little nook.
I love this whole setup here. And it took a little getting used to, like a week or so, but man, I look forward to going to sleep in that bed. Let's go down to the girls' side of the camper.
Oh, we didn't talk about these two cabinets. This is pretty much
Can I
our
open
pantry.
it?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, there's a crock pot up here. We're not the neatest, like, you know, "Ooh, everything goes here," and whatever.
It's hard with such a small space to keep it looking
we have
neat.
kids, and we're real, okay? Here's some Tootsie Pops. Here's some cookies. That like just we're real people, okay? I should pick those up. Meg's gonna yell at me. All right. So, yep, that's there, and there's similar things down there too. There's also, we extended our food storage with these little hanging baskets. They're kind of great for produce. It looks nice, you know. I mean, hello, Southern living. Let's go. All right, we're gonna go into the girls' bedroom. This is great, and we should have been selfish and taken this bedroom for ourselves, but we didn't. We wanted our kids to have the play area and the space to hang out and like have toys and activities and art sections and sleeping quarters. So let's start on this side, Meg, over here. This is where they put their little heads. They each have a window.
I'll stand over here.
They each have a window. So who sleeps up here? Autumn, of course. The, you know, Evil Knievel. She wants the top bunk. Claire has the bottom bunk. And yeah, it's kind of great. We made these little bunk beds. We never painted them, but we just made those out of 2x3s. Just simple little, you know, little setup there. But this is a slide out. It's a bump out on this side, and there's another bump out on the side that you're at right now. But this bumps out. So when these two things, when you're traveling, these come in, and the room's really small. So when they open up, though, you have this really nice, I mean, master suite, if you want to call it that. So if you don't have kids and you are just a young couple or old couple, whatever, it's just the two of you, this would be a really cool, just hang out, TV, couches, be very comfortable. If it was just me and Meg, I'd have the bed over there, and I would, in here, I would have a TV, a couch, maybe a desk or something like that.
Yeah.
And because I really enjoy having a desk and a computer and just being somewhere to like just think and like write down ideas and things like that. So this is a great model to do that. So all right, let's switch sides.
I purposely picked out this RV model because of this double pop out in the back room.
Yeah.
It provides such a big space for them to live in.
So their little TV is over here. We have some drawers for them because they can't really reach these closets. But these are closets in here and some storage and stuff. But they have, you know, just some storage in here that we put our towels and things like that. But it's just closet space. So
I'll switch sides
all right,
here.
on this side here, this is another bump out, same side as that one. And I designed and we built these desks out of just some shiplap and 2x4s. And they each have the same exact amount of space. Got to keep it fair, but it really functions well. So this is a desk and this is a desk. They're just a mirror image of each other, and gives the kids a place to go and do their homework. And the weird times we're in right now, if they had to switch to virtual, they would have two individual studying quarters that they could each, you know, get their school activities done if they're going virtual. So this is just great. They could do art projects. There's an area for their laptop. They could have a book open. They could do a lot with this. And this is another one of those little storage cubicle things that you get at Target. They have their little toy box here. This is just a really great space for kids. And they don't miss the old house. They love it in here. They run in and out of the house all the time. They watch TV. They just do activities. So more than enough room for a 7 and 9-year-old sister. Oh, can I talk about this too? These, we use one of these at nighttime for the kids. I usually put it on the low setting and put it about halfway and close the door. This is a rather safe space heater because it's filled with oil and it heats up really slowly. It's not one of those electric blower things. So this is a very safe heating alternative method. And when I close that door and just put this thing on a low setting,
it makes it toasty in here.
Really, yeah. I like sleeping when it's cool, but I feel bad because the kids are cold. So I come in, I turn this on for them. Like last night I woke up at 3 in the morning, realized it was cold, came in, turned it on, and I closed the door, and when I went and woke them up for school this morning, they were toasty as can be, and I was nice and cool bundled up with Meg. So this is a great thing to have in your camper.
But I have a feeling that the wood stove, once we get it installed, is going to warm up everything. We're probably not going to need that.
Yeah, probably. Okay.
And last room.
Let me show you where business gets done. This is our large bathroom. And you get some serious thinking done in here. This is my toilet and our sink. It's great because you could sit, relieve yourself, and brush your teeth at the same time.
And wash your hands.
Meg is in the shower right now, and I'm on the toilet. So anyway, Meg put up this wallpaper here, which is kind of gives you a woodsy, but not like, whoa, you really like the woods look.
It was on this wall as well, and it fell off.
Yeah.
That same problem with the heat.
Here's the bathroom, guys. Standard tub in there, has a skylight above, and there's a fan up above the main area. There's a vanity with mirror. There's a sink, one cabinet, toilet over here, and Meg did a nice little wallpaper job on that wall. It's pretty nice. Surprisingly, we function and it works just fine for us, doesn't it, Meg?
Oh yeah.
So one big adjustment you're going to need to make from, subdivision living to RV living is your hot water. Your hot water, the way we do it, we don't just leave it on. There's a little switch up here. I could flip the switch and you hear the propane light up the hot water tank. It's a 6-gallon hot water tank, which means if you are right about adjusting the flow in the shower, you can get a decent shower out of it. We've done showers back to back, no problem. You don't put the water on full blast because you'll burn through the hot water in no time. But we don't do our dishes with hot water. We just use the hot water for the shower, and it's a thing when you need the hot water, you turn it on, and when you're done with it, you turn it off. If you don't, it'll just constantly, the tank will heat it up, it'll cool down, it'll turn back on again, it'll cool down, and over and over and over again, and you'll burn your propane tank out in no time. If you're a weekend warrior or a week-long vacation RV type person, that'll work out great for you. And your next trip, just refill your propane tanks. But if you're living full-time, you don't want to be refilling your tanks every single week. We probably fill them once every 2 months or 3 months.
It's not very often.
It's not often. We just use the propane really for hot water. That's about it. If it's super cold in here, we'll turn it on for the heat because it heats it up really quick. But be smart with your propane usage and you can really make it last a long time.
All right, so here is the outside, the back outside of the camper. I want to show you a few things here.
Okay, yeah, you can just back up, give a general overview here. So if you go back in our episodes, episode 12, we added this underskirting. It's been on for a while now. It's just tin roofing, and it's built with maker pipe. Go watch episode 12 if you want to do something like this. It really helps with the frost, regarding frost proofing your RV for all the water lines, the water tanks and all that stuff underneath. Our code inspector actually required us having a frost-proof solution, so this is what we came up with, and we just finished it off with some wood on top so there wasn't some gnarly metal edges. But like I said, go back to episode 12 and check out that project.
This is our access to get underneath the RV.
This is just another piece of tin and slopes off in case rain hits it. We just open it up, and about once every 2 days or so, my kids do this for me so they don't make me climb under here, but there is a hard pipe. There's a 4-inch PVC pipe going in here instead of having one of those flexible tubes. If you're going to be living permanently, there's 4-inch PVC that comes out of the black and gray side, and it goes right down here, which leads to our septic tank.
Yeah, and we have some...
While you're looking, you will have critters. Be ready for them. We have these live traps here. If we catch one, a particular rodent, I'll say it, rat. Don't be surprised if you see some friends or you hear some creepy things under the camper. Even though they'll find their way in. So trap them, move them, problem solved. Okay, back here. Now this is where our camper is plugged in. So I installed this, one of the first things we had to do, we're going to move our camper here and plug it into power, so we had to add this outdoor outlet. This is a 30 amp 120 volt outlet, and it's something that you might want to consider. If you have more energy demands, you should really understand. I mean, it says it right here. Yeah, 30 amp supply. If you use a lot more electricity, you might want to consider getting a camper that is power rated for 50 amps. But ours is 30, and we also have our water coming in right here. So we have electric and water, and this is what I recommend. This has saved us, I don't know how many times, but we learned our lesson from getting frozen pipes once, and I went and invested in this. This isn't a cheap thing. This is probably $50 to $75 or something like that, depending on your length. But this hose here plugs in. We have the plug just kind of going underneath, and there's an outlet on an extension cord for a GFCI protected outlet on the camper. But if you look over here, this water hose has a little temperature probe here, and when it's plugged in, if the temperature dips below 40 degrees, there's a heating element inside this hose that keeps it warm and prevents the water from here to here from freezing. And winter time, your hose, if you don't have it protected like that or really insulated, it's going to freeze.
Depending on where you are.
And this is great because you could just leave that on, and if you need it to leave for the weekend or something like that, it will, you know, automatically just trip on if it needs to, if it's getting too cold. So this is a Camco. Just probably search for a, you know, we'll just link to it in the description. What else, Meg? Earth ties.
Can't really see them.
Yeah, let's look right over here.
All right. We have a boot scrubber, which is very helpful in the rainy months.
You're going to be using your steps that are built into the camper. All right, down here is something. Now, we're going to show a little clip of this installing these, but these are earth ties. So there is an anchor that goes well into the soil, like 36 inches or something like that. And then it's attached to the frame of the RV, and it ties it down. Now, you might think that's unnecessary. You're not going to use one of these things if you're just vacationing, but if you're going to be living in it permanently for an extended amount of time, I highly recommend for 3 reasons. The first reason, it might be required legally by your local code. Ask your code inspector. Number 2, it stops the camper from bouncing around a little bit. We have a 7-year-old and a 9-year-old, and they move around a lot in the back where their bedroom is. And when you're laying in bed and they're being goofy, you're kind of like, it feels like you're on a trampoline a little bit. And that eliminated that when we installed these. And the third reason, probably the most important, is that it protects you from high winds. This thing will save you and just keep this RV on the ground. These are our propane tanks. Okay, they're 230 tanks. One of them's powered. There's a switch here. And you can flip it to the other one. That way, if this one runs out, you could turn this one on and go refill this one. This powers, optionally, the refrigerator. So if you run out of power or you're just off grid, you can power your refrigerator. It also is used for the heater, and it's used for the hot water. Is that it, Meg? I think that's it.
The hot water, the oven.
Oh, the oven too, yes.
Yeah.
The biggest hog, the biggest user of propane is our heat, so we're going to replace that this winter with a wood stove.
So now that we've shown you the camper, we want to tell you a little bit of like overall how it's changed our lives, because it really has.
Yeah.
Big time. I recommend that everyone, some point in your life, you should try living in a camper or a small space, because it really will change your perspective of things. After living in the camper for a year now, I thought that I was going to be really anxious to get into a bigger space, that it was like really cramped, but it's done the opposite to me. It's made me feel like I need less space. Not less than this, but a regular size house, it almost feels too big.
Yeah, if you're thinking like a 2,400 square foot house is a pretty average size, you might be, after living in a camper, you might think, maybe 1,500 to 1,800 square feet is plenty for what I need. So, yeah, your opinion will change.
Mm-hmm. And the other thing that has kind of changed my perspective is just material items. We have a 10 by 20 foot storage unit and a 10 by 15 foot storage unit, 2 of them. And they're full of stuff, and I don't miss any of that stuff.
There's a few select items like sentimental things,
Yeah.
irreplaceables, that I'd grab, but most of that stuff, the old furniture,
Ugh.
all the
I
kids'
wish we got
old
rid of
toys.
a lot of stuff.
Yep. All the kids' old toys. They're just things, and it's been there for over a year now. It's going to continue to be there for another 2 years or so. But now we're thinking we might move that stuff here and go through everything and probably eliminate most of our objects that we don't really have a sentimental attachment to.
Yeah.
Because we're going to build this nice, beautiful home and then have this stuff to put in it. We don't want that. We want it to be all nice and clean and a lot of open space and storage that, closets are overflowing. So that's going to be our goal as time goes on, just getting rid of our stuff, whether it's donate, trash, or sell. We'll go through that process. I'm not looking forward to.
And the other thing that I thought was going to be an issue is just being really close to like the six of us, and
Six of us.
at time,
Well,
yeah,
our 2 daughters, and we acquired 2 dogs.
and the dog. And I thought that it was going to feel really confining, and it doesn't really feel that. I mean, of course there are times that you're like, ah, but overall, it's nice to be that close. It's nice to be able to wake up, and I have to wake up the girls for school, and I can just yell to them, and they can hear me. We couldn't do that in our old house.
I'll say something. Having a camper will not force you, but it'll make you want to be outside more. If you're craving more of being outside, breathing fresh air, and just being amongst nature, if that's something that you're craving for and you want more outside, you want to get the kids off of the tablets and the TV and stuff, our kids are usually outside. They play in the woods. They play on their swings. They just do things like what we did when we grew up. We entertained ourselves. 90% of the time, I am outdoors, and I love it. I feel better. I get great vitamin D every day. It's just, I really like being outside. And if that's something that you desire and you want to make that life change, this isn't a better way to do that.
Yeah, it really makes you closer as a family. I've asked the girls before if they like it better in the camper or better in our bigger house. We went from 3,100 square feet to, what is this?
240.
Yeah, and we couldn't be happier. It's really awesome, and it's easier to clean.
When you cut out all the clutter, it really makes you feel good, and less to take care of, less to keep track of.
Yeah. And when you have less space, it makes you consciously think about things before you buy them. Like if you want to buy some kind of decoration, for example, you have to consider in your mind, okay, it's going to be out for that holiday, but where am I going to put it? And when you only have a limited amount of space, it makes you really think through whether or not you need things and whether or not you have the room for them. Basically, if you have the space, like when we had our bigger house, if you have the space, you will fill it. So if you have a small amount of space, again, you will fill it, but you don't have as many material items, and it just feels so freeing to not have that stuff.
It is very freeing.
I like it.
All right, what else?
Highly recommend it. If you're considering living in an RV stationary,
Semi-permanent,
stationary on your own land, it is a great way, especially if you're in a situation like us and you're building a house and you need a place to live. It's really great to live on the land that you're going to be moving to and be close to your build, whether you're building it yourself or you're having others build it for you. You can be on the spot and be able to oversee everything. It's a great situation, and it's a lot easier than you think it's going to be. You adjust as you need to, and it'll change your life, really. It'll change your perspective on things.
Yeah.
Going forward, there's 2 projects that we're going to do to improve our RV situation even better. The first one is installing a deck platform.
Yeah, look how Autumn has to go in and out of the camper. You'll notice she's got to go grab the handle, go down the stairs, go back up the stairs, and then reach out and grab and shut the door. It's hard on little kids, it's hard on dogs. So that'll do two things: allow a safe entry and exit for kids, and it'll also allow it'll give us more living space outdoors that we could just walk out, open the door, and have a nice outdoor platform.
It'll also give us a way to take off our shoes outside of the camper.
That's true too.
We bring in so much dirt and mud into the camper in the winter months, and it would help to have a place to take your shoes off right there.
Yeah, you're always doing like a balancing act, like trying to get your boot off but not get it in the mud or dirt.
Yeah.
It's annoying.
And the second project that we have coming up real soon is installing a wood stove into the camper. We have an issue with condensation that needs to be resolved this winter, and winter is coming.
Yeah, winter's coming. It'll provide dry heat, and it'll keep things dry, it'll keep things warm. You don't have to burn the propane all the time. So a lot of benefits to installing a wood stove.
So stay tuned for those two things. And of course, we have our house build. We're actually going to start breaking ground real soon here.
We're almost done with the driveway. I'll show you maybe next episode or two where we are with the driveway. We made it all the way to the house site, and it's a really cool driveway.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I'll try to fly it with the drone again if you guys liked it last time. Yeah, I'm proud of it.
Yeah. So we have a lot of exciting things to come. Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks guys. Wow, Carmen, you're really posing.
She wants to be the star of
Celebrity
the video.
mountain cur.
Oh, you feel left out, Maddie?
All right, the second you trouble ran across the street. What are you chasing? Huh? You can't do that, Carmen. And I saw you. You did not check for traffic at all. Okay. Thanks, Autumn. Thanks for showing that to us. And then she slams it when she leaves, right?
Yep.
Because you don't want to climb the steps and close it nicely.
Yeah.
All right. Okay.